Alright, so I'm sure some of you guys out there are struggling with how to draw the human anatomy. Well, don't worry. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down to easily show how to draw hands for when you're studying and working on concept art and character design. Hey, what is up guys? This is TJ over at Clifford Studios bringing you another art tutorial. If this is your first time and you want to learn more about drawing and illustrating, make sure to subscribe and hit that little bell notification for when I'm about to post new videos. Alright, so learning how to draw hands. So your first step is you're really going to want to grab some photos of different hands in different positions, whether you're getting them online from Google, having a friend or family member be a hand model for the night, or you're just trying to take some pictures of your own hands. I would definitely suggest grabbing these in different gestures so that you can really experiment with every angle of the hand. The issue with human anatomy, especially with hands and even feet, are how organic and intricate they can be. The sheer amount of gestures and positions that these hands can be in is really incredible. This is honestly why doing anatomy studies like this and even having reference photos when drawing are so important. Alright, so let's jump into this. When you're starting out, you really want to make sure that you start with basic shapes that roughly outline the shape of your hand and really let you rough out your proportions. This is extremely important, and in my opinion, starting out with a closed fist tends to be the easiest way when learning how to draw forms, especially forms as complex as the hand. Now, one point that I'd like to share is to figure out what your drawing style is. Just because I'm working in a more realistic style doesn't mean you have to. In fact, maybe you're a cartoon artist and you like to focus on simplistic line work and shapes. If that's what you enjoy doing, then be sure to draw and practice in that style that you're most comfortable with. Additionally, for those of you that might just be starting out, it might actually be easier for you guys to start with simplistic forms and drawing in a cartoon style so that you can build up your drawing skills before jumping and trying to tackle something more realistic. So as you're working and once you're happy with your basic shapes as your construction lines, you can go ahead and start drawing in more detail. This being your knuckles, wrist bone, and even your fingers. Now, of course, for those of you who have seen my other art tutorials, I've talked a lot about using silhouettes, and while I didn't use them in this study particularly, they are still a fantastic way to go about outlining the object that you're drawing. And with that, another suggestion that I'd really like to make is to flip and rotate your canvas while you work. This makes it extremely easy on yourself, and something that's taught pretty widely traditionally is to spin your paper according to you. Don't rotate around your paper. While this is a traditional tip, this can easily be implemented digitally. When you're in Photoshop, just use the rotator tool to spin your project around, and when you want to get it back to that starting image, just hit the escape key. This will make it much easier on yourself to achieve the curves and straight lines when you're drawing. Alright, so one of my last tips for outlining is to really focus on how the fingers are positioned in each gesture. One thing that you'll be able to notice is that when the hand is fully extended, the fingers don't always extend straight up as you'll sometimes see in cartoons. The fingers are also never perfectly straight in their silhouettes. There are always a bunch of different bumps and ridges that make up each finger. Okay, so now that we have finished the line work, now we can jump into shading. At this point, you really want to make sure you're following the contours of the hand when you're shading to really sell the idea that these are three-dimensional. When working in black and white, or in color for that matter, make sure to have your color swatches on hand next to your image so that you're not constantly playing around and fiddling with the color picker trying to acquire the correct value. Make sure as well to start out light so that when you're shading, it's always easier to add contrast and darkness rather than trying to erase when you're shading. Alright guys, so here we have my finished hand study. As you can probably tell, having reference photos can be extremely helpful, and doing studies such as this one can be extremely useful when developing your own drawing styles and painting skills, whether you're working digitally or traditionally. If you've enjoyed this tutorial, please don't leave without leaving a like, guys. It really helps me out. And if you want to see more videos like this one and are interested in seeing some of my other tutorials on character and weapon designs, be sure to subscribe and stay up to date for my future videos. I really enjoy making these, and I'm glad to hear in the comments on my past videos that some of these have been really helping you guys. It really means a lot, and I love doing this. In fact, if you're interested, please leave a comment on what you would like to see next, whether that's another study like this one or another character illustration from one of your favorite movies or video games. So far I've done Thor and The Flash, and next I really want to do one for the upcoming Star Wars movie. I really enjoy doing those and I can't wait to do more. Not to mention, I really love interacting with you guys down in the comments below as well as on my other social media platforms. Speaking of which, if you guys want to keep up with me live before I post my art on YouTube, feel free to follow me on any of my other social media accounts. I've listed them down in the description below and at the end of this video. As always guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Feel free to check out some of my other concept art videos if they sound interesting to you. This has been TJ from Clifford Studio. Take care.